Welcome back to Fast Track. I'm Tommy Teal.
And I'm Sarah Cometa.
If you're young and having a hard time getting a credit card, you're not alone. Fast Track's Jennifer Williams has some tips on how to establish good credit.
Getting credit is not easy in this market, but it's even more difficult if you're young. More than 1 in 5 people between the ages of 18 and 34 have been refused a credit card or other loan, like a mortgage or student loan, in the last year. That's according to a new survey by findlaw.com. Part of this trend has to do with new rules. The Card Act that went into effect last month requires that students under 21 years old must have a cosigner, such as a parent. If you don't want mom or dad co-signing your card, you'll have to show evidence that you can pay your bills each month, like pay stubs. And no more pre-screened credit card offers if you're younger than 21, unless you ask for them. If you're just starting out, look for a secured card. Here's how that works. You deposit money into a special savings account and draw off that amount with their credit card. Once you've made on-time payments for 18 months, your credit record should be solid enough to get a regular credit card. If you don't have enough money to back up the secured card, get yourself added to another person's credit card as an authorized user. You can build up your credit if the main account holder has good credit and pays the bills on time. I'm Jennifer Williams with Purdue's Fast Track.
Healthcare is still the major issue in Washington, and Toyota's problems get even worse. Veronica Appleton has more in this week's political update.
Here's a quick look at some of the most important issues this week. President Obama has set 3 deadlines for healthcare reform, and March 18th will be the first for a visit overseas. The controversial issues over the reconciliation and the Republican votes are costing the administration a stressful battle in determining a strategic plan. The second deadline will assist the administration in attempts to earn back the supermajority lost to the Republican Party. And the third deadline will assist in acquiring a final up or down vote in Congress for the $1 trillion package within the next few weeks. And at this point, the Republican Party is unlikely to support the 3-deadline approach. A former attorney for Toyota claims the automaker hid evidence of safety issues from the public. Now he's turned over thousands of documents to Congress. The lawyer says he tried to get the information out earlier, but was told to keep quiet. Perhaps the most dramatic evidence came from a Prius user who narrowly escaped a high-speed accident. He says the accelerator got stuck, making the car reach speeds over 90 miles per hour. Jim Stykes talks about what he was thinking during the incident.
You really have to be there. I mean, when you're doing 94 miles an hour and you're going around curves and you're missing cars, it's not a plaything. And I was afraid to do anything out of the normal. I definitely would have tried the transmission and tried to put it neutral, but I was afraid I was going to hit reverse. So I didn't touch it. I knew it just needed to be shut off.
That's it for this week's political update. I'm Veronica Appleton. Now back to the news desk.
Not going anywhere for spring break. Let's check in with Mandy to see what the weather is going to be like here in West Lafayette, whether you're sticking around or heading out.
For this week's local forecast, we'll be able to check out our weekend outlook, as well as the travel forecast for those of you that are able to go somewhere nice for spring break, and then your spring break forecast into next week for those of you that will be sticking around the area. As we move in and take a look at our almanac, we can see that our normal highs for this time of the year are upper 40s, and our lows are in the upper 20s. We've been a little bit warmer than that recently. However, our last year we were much cooler with a high at the freezing point and a low in the lower 20s. Our records were in 1990 with a nice and warm 76 degrees and then a very frigid -5 in 1948. Sunrise will be nice and early considering we're waiting to spring forward this coming Sunday. As we move into Friday, we can see that our lows across the state are going to be in the mid to lower 40s with a 44 in Indy and a 43 in Lafayette. Saturday's highs are in the 50s all across the entire state, 50 in Lafayette, 51 in Indianapolis, and 52 in Bloomington. Saturday's lows are in the upper 30s around the whole entire state. And then as we move into Sunday, we can see that there's kind of this line where the 50 degrees will be measured and kind of cut off throughout the majority of the rest of the state, with the upper 40s experienced in the northern half. And then down south, you'll see 50 plus temperatures. As we move into Sunday's lows, you can see that we're going to be in the mid 30s across the entire state again, with 35 in Lafayette, Indianapolis, and also 37 in Bloomington. If you're leaving town on Friday, you're going to experience weather no matter what direction you go in the Midwest. There's going to be widespread rain everywhere. As we see a low push out, you'll continue to see the widespread rain will keep going into Saturday night and even into Sunday. As we move into our 7-day planner, for those of you sticking around, we'll have nice temperatures for most of the week with some rain this weekend, and then also heading into the next week, warm temperatures again. I'm Mandy Bullock, and that's your local forecast.
Sometimes what you eat can affect the medications you take. Some foods can make your medication too strong and others not strong enough. Veronica Appleton has more in today's Health Minute.
What do licorice, grapefruit, and chocolate have in common? All three can interfere with certain medications.
Food can delay, enhance, or increase absorption of a drug in someone's system.
An example of that, grapefruit and grapefruit juice, while enriched in nutrients, it can be dangerous when combined with some medications that treat high blood pressure, high cholesterol, anxiety, and insomnia. Grapefruit seems to boost the level of medicine absorbed into the body, making it more common to suffer from side effects.
All licorice is the same in this instance.
When eaten in large amounts throughout the day, it can interact with blood pressure medicines called diuretics and reduce their effectiveness. Some forms of licorice can make the heart failure drug, Lanoxin, toxic. And if you're taking birth control pills,
You will have fluid retention and increased blood pressure or hypertension.
and if you have chocolate left over from Valentine's Day, eat it in moderation. The caffeine in the chocolate can increase the effects of stimulant drugs such as Ritalin and decrease the effectiveness of some insomnia medications. For today's Health Minute, I'm Veronica Appleton.
Coming up next, we have highlights from the men's Big Ten title basketball game, and Sarah Wortman sits down with linebacker Jason Werner.
And our national weather forecast. Stay with us.
Nestled in the basement of Hicks Undergraduate Library is Purdue's Digital Learning Collaboratory, or DLC for short. The DLC is a computer lab where students can rent out or reserve digital equipment such as video cameras, laptops, or digital cameras for 1 or 3 nights. The computers and video stations also have software available for video editing on both Apple and PCs. If you run into problems or have any technical questions, you can get help from the friendly staff members. For a complete listing of the DLC's hours, you can go to the website at dlc.purdue.edu.